Race, Power, and Politics, The History of Urban Education. Annette Caldwell Simmons School of Education and Human Development graduate student, Rodney Gilbert, aka Rhonda. Seeking a master's in education from the Department of Teaching and Learning, studying under the leadership of Professor Janitha Johnson, PhD. Course requirement, reflection number 1. A critical response to classroom discourse on the topic of the indoctrination and assimilation of an oppressed people. After reading the historical context for understanding the test score gap by James D. Anderson, several preconceived notions were confirmed. First, the black-white achievement gap didn't just happen today. It began over 200 years ago. Second, contrary to popular belief and historical desires, that gap is much closer and less daunting than in previous years. More importantly, other readings confirm we're not the first and we won't be the last to experience gaps. Mexicans, Indians, and Asians have experienced this tyranny as well. This hypothetical gap or hindrance was born many disguises and created a number of hurdles as the African American people have struggled to be and or exist in the United States of America. According to Anderson, there have been 7 hurdles to be exact: the test score gap, the literacy gap, the elementary school attendance gap, the high school completion gap, the college graduation gap, the graduate and professional degrees gap, and finally, the income gap. At each level of achievement, there came yet another opportunity to protest the system and push for change for the advancement of colored people. I love how Anderson states, the history of African American education in the South and the nation is a remarkable record of overcoming one achievement gap after another, each succeeding generation building on the strengths and possibilities created by the previous generation. On August 18, 2018, our activity in class required us to write a 6-word thank you to someone significant and supportive of our educational pursuit at SMU. My words ironically were, "To God be the glory. Thanks." Much like my slave ancestry, I have been raised to believe in the power of my Creator, to walk by faith and acknowledge His hand at work in my life. The letter was sent to my father's sister, our family matriarch, Barbara Ann Record. She lives to bear witness to what many have dreamed for our family, as each child makes another milestone towards self-actualizing and achieving their highest potential. We celebrate having moved one step closer to the promised land of freedom. Though I have known since birth that my gift of education has come with a high price of blood, sweat, and tears, I didn't realize how closely my life was following the script, someone's master plan. Are my choices dictated by God or man? All my life I've been chosen to be the first in my family to be bused, the first to attend the Talented and Gifted program, the first to attend a magnet high school, the first Distributive Education Clubs of America area and state president, the first to graduate 3rd in my class with high honors, the first to receive a full academic scholarship to the University of Texas at Austin, the first to intern for the Department of Health and Human Services Office for Civil Rights, the first to revise the Affirmative Action Plan for the Texas Department of Public Safety in Austin, Texas, the first to be named the University Good Fellow at UT, the first to graduate from college, the first to leave the country and serve as a Peace Corps volunteer, the first Black female president of the North Texas Returned Peace Corps Volunteer Organization, the first Black female president of the Literacy Volunteers of America Dallas Board, the first to become the director of a nonprofit organization, the first to be in a managerial position for the Dallas Public Library System, the first Black female PTA president of Dealey Montessori Vanguard and International Academy, one of the first Black upper elementary Montessori teachers in the Dallas Independent School District. Certainly, the first to attend the prestigious Southern Methodist University in my family. It is amazing that in this day and age there are still trails to be blazed. Could this be because there are still systemic discriminatory practices in effect? Because I have been permitted to exercise so many freedoms that my ancestors never knew, I have been afforded the luxury of forgetting from whence I come, or more importantly, forgetting the fact that so many of my people are still struggling, oppressed by this institutionalized curse. I, in the words of W.B. Du Bois, have a double consciousness, thus an internal struggle. It all makes sense. I have been programmed to succeed. My part in the play is to rise as one of the talented 10th. I am determined to obtain a doctoral degree and profess. I have been morally trained and disciplined to be blindly patriotic and culturally assimilate. I now subscribe and teach the American ways, while my soul longs to be free. I've learned that I am the product of two schools of thought. Both Booker T. Washington and W.B. Du Bois shaped my hidden script. Like two sides of one coin, I flip back and forth, submitting to white political rule in order to receive basic education and economic opportunities. Then later, I find myself demanding my God-given inalienable rights, having to fight the system yet again to provide social justice. No compromise will do. This information reminds me there is no peace without protest. We must continue to study and know the great lesson. Each individual, people, community, region, and nation has cultural significance and import that must be valued and shared in order for us all to function in harmony. We must restore the truth, lest history is doomed to repeat itself, and we will either be destroyed or left wandering rather than experience the promise fulfilled. I ask myself, have things changed or do they remain the same? What is the new physical, mental, or spiritual hurdle to conquer? Black Lives Matter. Listen and you will hear a new protest with an old theme. Still I Rise by Maya Angelou. You may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may trod me in the very dirt, but still, like dust, I'll rise. Does my sassiness upset you? Why are you beset with gloom? 'Cause I walk like I've got oil wells pumping in my living room? Just like moons and like suns with the certainty of tides, just like hope springing high, still I'll rise. Did you want to see me broken? Bowed head and lowered eyes, shoulders falling down like teardrops, weakened by my soulful cries. Does my haughtiness offend you? Don't you take it awful hard, 'cause I laugh like I've got gold mines digging in my own backyard. You may shoot me with your words, you may cut me with your eyes, you may kill me with your hatefulness, but still, like air, I'll rise. Does my sexiness upset you? Does it come as a surprise that I dance like I've got diamonds at the meeting of my thighs? Out of the huts of history's shame, I rise. Up from a past that's rooted in pain, I rise. I'm a black ocean, leaping and wide, welling and swelling I bear in the tide. Leaving behind nights of terror and fear, I rise. Into a daybreak that's wondrously clear, I rise. Bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave, I am the dream and the hope of the slave. I rise, I rise, I rise. I challenge us all to choose to become culturally intelligent by recognizing what we don't know. Let us seek to learn differently. Venapasa. This is Wildflower signing off with compassion, love, and understanding.